Hello, hello. We're live. Yay. It's always exciting. I'm going to give it just a sec because I have a friend who's going to join. I know he likes to watch the stream, so just going to give it a sec. But actually, let me just tell him that we're live. So, how's it going? Nobody's here. I know you can't answer that, but it's all good. Doesn't matter. Today is Wednesday, May 6th, 2020. And life is still just going on. I don't know. I'm an essential employee, so my life hasn't changed at all. And my friend's going to be joining in a minute. Awesome. I'm essential, so my job and life really hasn't changed. I really wanted to take tomorrow off just to have a day off in the week, but I didn't ask soon enough, so that happens. But yeah, I found a nice fireplace for us tonight, so hopefully you enjoy that. And if you'd rather watch like a river or something like that, let me know in the comments and I will find like a pretty river. I just try to avoid things with music because, hey, there's Zulu one, nice. I try to avoid screen sharing with music because I'm not sure about like the copywriting and whatever. I don't know if you have to like announce who you're playing. I don't know. So I just do like fireplaces. But if you would rather watch like a river, whatever, just let me know. I don't really care either way. I just figured it was nice to have like a fireplace going. But yeah, anyway, tonight is chapter 9, the founding of Narnia. It's going to be pretty exciting. So let's go ahead and get our fireplace rolling and get cozy. And okay, there was just a pop-up nonsense thing telling me everything might crash and die. I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care. No, is this actually going to go to full screen? Okay, there we go. That's a nice little cozy scene there with a kitty and rain, whatever. Okay, enjoy. Chapter 9, The Founding of Narnia. The lion was pacing to and fro about the empty land and singing his new song. It was softer and more lifting than the song by which he had called up the stars and the sun, a gentle, rippling music. And as he walked and sang, the valley grew green with grass. It spread out from the lion like a pool. It ran up the sides of the little hills like a wave. In a few minutes, it was creeping up the lower slopes of the distant mountains, making that young world every moment softer. The light wind could now be heard ruffling the grass. Sorry, I got a pop-up. Okay, whatever. Hopefully it just goes away. Whatever. My computer is terrible, so it's probably just like, oh, we're gonna die. We're gonna crash everything. Whatever. One day. Who cares? I don't care when. Sorry. I should start at my computer and get it going before I just go live and get into it, but I'm unorganized, so here we are. Let's see, where was I? The light wind could now be heard ruffling the grass. Soon there were other things besides the grass. The higher slopes grew dark with heather. Patches of rougher and more bristling green appeared in the valley. Diggory did not know what they were until one began coming up quite close to him. It was a little spiky thing that threw out dozens of arms and covered these arms with green, and grew larger at the rate of about an inch every 2 seconds. There were dozens of these things all round him now. When they were nearly as tall as himself, he saw what they were. "Trees!" he exclaimed. The nuisance of it, as Polly said afterwards, was that you weren't left in peace to watch it all. Just as Diggory said trees, he had to jump because Uncle Andrew had sidled up to him again and was just going to pick his pocket. It wouldn't have done Uncle Andrew much good if he had succeeded, for he was aiming at the right-hand pocket, because he still thought the green rings were homeward rings. But of course Diggory didn't want to lose either. "Stop!" cried the witch. "Stand back! No, further back! If anyone goes within 10 paces of either of the children, I will knock out his brains." She was poising in her hand the iron bar that she had torn off the lamp-post, ready to throw it. Somehow no one doubted that she would be a very good shot. "So," she said, "you would steal back to your own world with the boy and leave me here?" Uncle Andrew's temper at last got the better of his fears. "Yes, ma'am, I would," he said. "Most undoubtedly I would. I should be perfectly in my rights. I have been most shamefully, most abominably treated. I have done my best to show you such civilities as were in my power. And what has been my reward? You have robbed, I must repeat the word, robbed, a highly respectable jeweler. You have insisted on my entertaining you to an exceedingly expensive, not to say ostentatious, lunch, though I was obliged to pawn my watch and chain in order to do so. And let me tell you, ma'am, that none of our family would have been in the habit of frequenting pawn shops except my cousin Edward, and he was in the yeomanry. During that indigestible meal, I'm feeling the worse for it at this very moment. Your behavior and conversation attracted the unfavorable attention of everyone present. I feel I have been publicly disgraced. I shall never be able to show my face in that restaurant again. You have assaulted the police. You have stolen. Oh, stow it, governor. Do stow it, said the cabby. Watching and listening's the thing at present, not talking. There was certainly plenty to watch and to listen to. The tree which Diggory had noticed was now a full-grown beech, whose branches swayed gently above his head. They stood on cool green grass, sprinkled with daisies and buttercups. A little way off, along the river bank, willows were growing. On the other side, tangles of flowering currant, lilac, wild rose, and rhododendron closed them in. The horse was tearing up delicious mouthfuls of new grass. All this time the lion's song and his stately prowl, to and fro, backward and forward, was going on. What was rather alarming was that at each turn he came a little nearer. Polly was finding the song more and more interesting because she thought she was beginning to see the connection between the music and the things that were happening. When a line of dark firs sprang up on a ridge about 100 yards away, she felt that they were connected with a series of deep, prolonged notes which the lion had sung a second before. And when he burst into a rapid series of lighter notes, she was not surprised to see primroses suddenly appearing in every direction. Thus, with an unspeakable thrill, she felt quite certain that all the things were coming, as she said, out of the lion's head. When you listened to his song, you heard the things he was making up. When you looked round you, you saw them. This was so exciting that she had no time to be afraid. But Diggory and the cabby could not help feeling a bit nervous as each turn of the lion's walk brought him nearer. As for Uncle Andrew, his teeth were chattering, but his knees were shaking so that he could not run away. Suddenly the witch stepped boldly out toward the lion. It was coming on, always singing with a slow, heavy pace. It was only 12 yards away. She raised her arm and flung the iron bar straight at its head. Nobody, least of all Jadis, could have missed at that range. The bar struck the lion fair between the eyes. It glanced off and fell with a thud in the grass. The lion came on. Its walk was neither slower nor faster than before. You could not tell whether it even knew it had been hit. Though its soft pads made no noise, you could feel the earth shake beneath their weight. The witch shrieked and ran. In a few moments she was out of sight among the trees. Uncle Andrew turned to do likewise, tripped over a root, and fell flat on his face in a little brook that ran down to join the river. The children could not move. They were not even quite sure that they wanted to. The lion paid no attention to them. Its huge red mouth was open, but open in song, not in a snarl. It passed by them so close that they could have touched its mane. They were they were terribly afraid it would turn and look at them, yet in some queer way they wished it would. My book is falling apart. I need to tape it back together. A well-read book falls apart, or it's just a cheaply made book. Whatever. But for all the notice it took of them, they might just as well have been invisible and unsmellable. When it had passed them and gone a few paces further, it turned, passed them again, and continued its march eastward. Uncle Andrew, coughing and spluttering, picked himself up. "Now, Diggory," he said, "we've got rid of that woman, and the brute of the lion is gone. Give me your hand and put on your ring at once." "Keep off," said Diggory, backing away from him. "Keep clear of him, Polly. Come over here beside me. Now, I warn you, Uncle Andrew, don't come one step nearer. We'll just vanish." "Do what you're told this minute, sir," said Uncle Andrew. "You're an extremely disobedient, ill-behaved little boy." "No fear," said Diggory. "We want to stay and see what happens. I thought you wanted to know about other worlds. Don't you like it now you're here?" "Like it?" exclaimed Uncle Andrew. "Just look at the state I'm in. And it was my best coat and waistcoat, too." He certainly was a dreadful sight by now, for, of course, the more dressed up you were to begin with, the worse you look after you've crawled out of a smashed hansom cab and fallen into a muddy brook. "I'm not saying," he added, "that this is not a most interesting place. If I were a younger man, now, perhaps I could get some lively young fellow to come here first. One of those big game hunters. Something might be made of this country. The climate is delightful. I never felt such air. I believe it would have done me good if circumstances had been more favorable. If only we'd had a gun." "Guns be blowed," said the cabby. "I think I'll go and see if I can give Strawberry a rub down. That horse has more sense than some humans, as I could mention." He walked back to Strawberry and began making the hissing noises that grooms make. "Do you think that lion could be killed by a gun?" asked Diggory. "He didn't mind the iron bar much." "With all her faults," said Uncle Andrew, "that's a plucky gel, my boy. It was a spirited thing to do." He rubbed his hands and cracked his knuckles, as if he were once more forgetting how the witch frightened him whenever she was really there. "It was a wicked thing to do," said Polly. "What harm had he done to her?" "Hullo, what's that?" said Diggory. He had darted forward to examine something only a few yards away. "I say, Polly," he called back, "do come and look." Uncle Andrew came with her, not because he wanted to see, but because he wanted to keep close to the children. There might be a chance of stealing their rings. But when he saw what Diggory was looking at, even he began to take an interest. It was a perfect little model of a lamppost, about 3 feet high, but lengthening and thickening in proportion as they watched it. In fact, growing just as the trees had grown. "It's alive, too. I mean, it's lit," said Diggory. And so it was, though of course the brightness of the sun made that little flame in the lantern hard to see unless your shadow fell on it. "Remarkable, most remarkable," muttered Uncle Andrew. "Even I never dreamed of magic like this. We're in a world where everything, even a lamppost, comes to life and grows. Now I wonder what sort of seed a lamppost grows from." "Don't you see?" said Diggory. "This is where the bar fell. The bar she tore off the lamppost at home. It sank into the ground, and now it's coming up as a young lamppost. But not so very young now. It was as tall as Diggory while he said this." "That's it. Stupendous, stupendous," said Uncle Andrew, rubbing his hands harder than ever. "Ho, ho, they laughed at my magic. That fool of a sister of mine thinks I'm a lunatic. I wonder what they'll say now. I have discovered a world where everything is bursting with life and growth. Columbus. Now, they talk about Columbus, but what was America to this? The commercial possibilities of this country are unbounded. Bring a few old bits of scrap iron here, bury 'em, and up they come as brand new railway engines, battleships, anything you please. They'll cost nothing, and I can sell 'em at full prices in England. I shall be a millionaire, and then the climate, I feel years younger already. I can run it as a health resort. A good sanatorium here might be worth 20,000 a year. Of course, I shall have to let a few people into the secret. The first thing is to get that brute shot. You're just like the witch, said Polly. All you think of is killing things. And then, as regards oneself, Uncle Andrew continued in a happy dream, there's no knowing how long I might live if I settled here, and that's a big consideration when a fellow is turned 60. I shouldn't be surprised if I never grew a day older in this country. Stupendous, the land of youth. Oh, cried Diggory, the land of youth? Do you think it really is? For of course he remembered what Aunt Letty had said to the lady who brought the grapes, and that sweet hope rushed back upon him. Uncle Andrew, he said, do you think there's anything here that would cure Mother? What are you talking about? Said Uncle Andrew. This isn't a chemist's shop. But as I was saying, you don't care twopence about her, said Diggory savagely. I thought you might, after all. She's your sister, as well as my mother. Well, no matter. I'm jolly well going to ask the lion himself if he can help me. And he turned and walked briskly away. Polly waited for a moment and then went after him. Here, stop, come back. The boy's gone mad, said Uncle Andrew. He followed the children at a cautious distance behind, for he didn't want to get too far away from the green rings or too near the lion. In a few minutes, Diggory came to the edge of the wood, and there he stopped. The lion was singing still, but now the song had once more changed. It was more like what we should call a tune, but it was also far wilder. It made you want to run and jump and climb. It made you want to shout. It made you want to rush at other people and either hug them or fight them. It made Diggory hot and red in the face. It had some effect on Uncle Andrew, for Diggory could hear him saying, a spirited jell, sir. It's a pity about her temper, but a dem fine woman all the same, a dem fine woman. But what the song did to the two humans was nothing compared with what it was doing to the country. Can you imagine a stretch of grassy land bubbling like water in a pot? For that is really the best description of what was happening. In all directions, it was swelling into lumps. They were of very different sizes, some no bigger than molehills, some as big as wheelbarrows, two the size of cottages, and the humps moved and swelled till they burst, and the crumbled earth poured out of them, and from each hump there came out an animal. The moles came out just as you might see a mole come out in England. The dogs came out, barking the moment their heads were free, and struggling as you've seen them do when they are getting through a narrow hole in a hedge. The stags were the queerest to watch, for of course the antlers came up a long time before the rest of them. So at first Diggory thought that they were trees. The frogs, who all came up near the river, went straight into it with a plop plop and a loud croaking. The panthers, leopards, and things of that sort sat down at once to wash the loose earth off their hindquarters, and then stood up against the trees to sharpen their front claws. Showers of birds came out of the trees. Butterflies fluttered, bees got to work on the flowers as if they hadn't a second to lose. But the greatest moment of all was when the biggest hump broke like a small earthquake, and out came the sloping back, the large, wise head, and the four baggy trousered legs of an elephant. And now you could hardly hear the song of the lion. There was so much cawing, cooing, crowing, braying, neighing, baying, barking, lowing, bleating, and trumpeting. But though Diggory could no longer hear the lion, he could see it. It was so big and so bright that he could not take his eyes off it. The other animals did not appear to be afraid of it. Indeed, at that very moment, Diggory heard the sound of hooves from behind. A second later, the old cab horse trotted past him and joined the other beasts. The air had apparently suited him as well as it had suited Uncle Andrew. He no longer looked like the poor old slave he had been in London. He was picking up his feet and holding his head erect. And now, for the first time, the lion was quite silent. He was going to and fro among the animals, and every now and then he would go up to two of them, always two at a time, and touch their noses with his. He would touch two beavers among all the beavers, two leopards among all the leopards, one stag and one deer among all the deer, and leave the rest. Some sorts of animals he passed over altogether, but the pairs which he had touched instantly left their own kinds and followed him. At last he stood still, and all the creatures whom he had touched came and stood in a wide circle around him. The others whom he had not touched began to wander away. Their noises faded gradually into the distance. The chosen beasts who remained were now utterly silent, all with their eyes fixed intently upon the lion. The cat-like ones gave an occasional twitch of the tail, but otherwise all were still. For the first time that day, there was a complete silence, except for the noise of running water. Diggory's heart beat wildly. He knew something very solemn was going to be done. He had not forgotten about his mother, but he knew jolly well that even for her, he couldn't interrupt a thing like this. The lion, whose eyes never blinked, stared at the animals as hard as if he was going to burn them up with his mere stare, and gradually a change came over them. The smaller ones, the rabbits, moles, and such like, grew a good deal larger. The very big ones, you noticed it most with the elephants, grew a little smaller. Many Many animals sat up on their hind legs. Most put their heads on one side as if they were trying very hard to understand. The lion opened his mouth, but no sound came from it. He was breathing out a long, warm breath. It seemed to sway all the beasts as the wind sways a line of trees. Far overhead, from beyond the veil of the blue sky which hid them, the stars sang again, a pure, cold, difficult music. Then there came a swift flash like fire, but it burnt nobody, either from the sky or from the lion itself, and every drop of blood tingled in the children's bodies, and the deepest, wildest voice they had ever heard was saying, Narnia, 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 awake, love, think, speak, be walking trees, be talking beasts, be divine waters. That's the end of chapter 9. Stop this. And come back over here. Hey, okay, we're back. Suluan. All over the place too. Yeah, I'm a mess. Hey, Israel Adams, nice to see you as well. Hope you enjoyed it. That chapter is, that's one of my favorites in that book. This whole book is just wonderful, but that's one of my favorite chapters. It's so good. Let me set this down one sec. So I'm not good with theology or Bible talks, whatnot, but apparently, oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm like super lazy tonight. I was like, I'm just gonna throw on a sweatshirt and just go for it, whatever. I don't care. It's like I don't have to wear makeup and be fancy and whatnot every stream. But anyway, these books, they're said to mirror the Bible, like the stories of the Bible. And so that chapter there was, I mean, I think it would be, Genesis when when God is creating all of the earth. And so Aslan is supposed to be the god, and then the white witch Jadis is the devil. And which I think it's interesting that the devil is portrayed as a female in these books, because I don't know, I kind of think that the devil is kind of feminine too, like, just jealous of God's power, like pretty mad that God kicked the devil out of heaven. And I don't know. I'm not at all skilled at like Bible talks and whatnot, so I don't want to get too into it and have someone be like, "Oh, that's blasphemy," whatever. People get triggered, whatever. But yeah, I think it's really, really interesting. There's a chapter in the next book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, that when I was reading that to my son, it was just like really, really emotional. It was really hard to get through because it just like feels so real. And so this is a wonderful series. My son and I just started reading the third one, which is The Horse and His Boy. So there's 7 books in this series, but The Horse and His Boy is a fantastic one. It's a really awesome story. And I mean, all of them are wonderful in their own ways. Like, it's just a great story. Yeah, it's too easy to trigger people, Zulu. Like, you just say anything wrong on the internet and you like get enough views on your video and someone's going to get triggered eventually. So, kind of not the worst thing that I'm at, about like 30-ish views per chapter, not too bad. People seem to be enjoying it. And I like it too. It's really fun to just read to people and just talk, but it doesn't have to be, my thoughts, even though I kind of go off on tangents at the end, whatever, chatting with you guys. But yeah, it's just nice to be able to connect with people and give you a good story that, a lot of people probably haven't read these books. And so, yeah, I really enjoy them. I have a lot of problems with like just TV, movies, new books. I'm like, the older the book you can find, the better. Or like really old dictionaries are pretty interesting to compare to dictionaries from now, because just the triggering and how much words change and whatnot. Seems like everything changes. Like when when I was a kid, Pluto was a planet, and then they changed it that it wasn't a planet, and now they have changed it back that it's like a dwarf planet or whatever. It's just like everything just changes with whoever's talking about it at the time, or whatever. Um, people like to kind of disregard what I think, because they say, well, I know you're into conspiracy theories, and then they proceed to just disregard everything I say. But I have decided that since I don't like labels, like, you don't get to label me a conspiracy theorist. I'm an alternative theorist, because yes, there's one theory that's always accepted by the mainstream and the, quote unquote normal people or whatever. And just because that's the accepted theory doesn't mean that that's the only theory in the world. I mean, there could be a million theories for what the earth really is. So, and that goes for a lot of different things in this world. So I'm an alternative theorist. Thank you very much. But yeah, yeah, it gets frustrating, Zulu one. It's just like, no, like, you don't get to tell me, like, say, oh, I know you think like this, so you must also think like this. Like, no, you don't know anything. Actually, you don't know how I think, how I feel, how I came to these conclusions, why I can't see the world like a lot of people do. Like nobody, people don't understand it unless they've been through as many rabbit holes as some of us have. And yeah, it's kind of funny that sometimes I'm like so deep in the rabbit hole that I will say something that, like, in our aware community, you all will understand it completely, and not not be shocked by it at all. But someone who is, still completely in the matrix, I mean, I'll just state something completely calmly and rationally, and other people will absolutely lose their mind and tell you that you're insane, there's no possible way that people could do this. And I don't know what it is. Like, I think that, kind of feel like maybe some people are just like, they're honestly just such good people that they literally can't fathom the level of evil and psychotic that is running this world. And I mean, hey, maybe that says something really good about them, because, like, I kind of, whenever I see like news reports or just anything on the mainstream whatever, like, nothing shocks me, even the most like crazy messed up things. Like, I just always can picture someone being so messed up that they do that. And so it's like, well, good for my friends that they are like such nice good people that they like can't fathom the level of evil that's here. But I don't know what it says about me that I can. Who knows? But I mean, you can't go back to you can't go back in the matrix once you're out of it. It's very very difficult to go back in. It's been a really interesting few years for sure. But yeah, I'm super excited for stuff to just like open back up again, because I was supposed to have a Flat Earth meetup at the end of last month. It's May now. Yeah, I was supposed to have one last month in April, but obviously restaurants and everything on the plane is currently closed. I was planning on having it at this really nice waterfront beach park thing over in Burien. And so once we're actually allowed to go back to the beach, I will be having a huge meetup. It's going to be awesome. Barbecue, party on the water. It's just going to be a really good day. So like, I'm super excited for that to come back. Sometimes I wish I didn't take that pill. Yeah, Zulu, there's certain things that I wish I wouldn't have woken up to, because now I'm just so far removed from what's normal that, like, I even have a problem like watching movies with my kid. Like, some I can handle, but I just, every single movie I just like analyze it, and I can just see the programming in it, and it's really hard to be in the Matrix world, but not be a part of the Matrix world. It can be really hard sometimes. But I mean, I'm thankful for the internet, because it's brought me to so many great friends who do understand me and who are in the same boat with me. Like yourself, Zulu One. I wouldn't know you if it wasn't for Strange World. Really. I mean, yeah, that's, like, I heard you call in all the time, and now you're my buddy. And I mean, there's so many more people that I can't even count all the people that I've met because of something something seemingly silly like flat Earth. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's been a wild ride, but I will, if I had the option to go back, I wouldn't, I wouldn't go back. I would just, yeah, I just wouldn't, because I've learned so, like, I've learned more in the past, let's see, when was it? It was November 2017 that I watched a Jeranism video, and that started my spiral into countless rabbit holes. It's been so fun. I learned more in those couple years than I did through all of schooling. So I mean, it's been awesome. But yeah, sometimes you just wish you're like, can I just be like with the normal kids again? Can I just hang out at the party and like talk about the stuff? But it's like I really don't have a desire. Like, people want to talk about the Kardashians, and people want to talk about everything that celebrities are doing. And I'm just like, they're just dudes. Like, they're just people. Like, they're not interesting. Like, great, they went to the grocery store with their kid without makeup on. Ooh, big news there. Like, it's ridiculous. I made so many new family members. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like people like yourself, it's like, I feel like I've known you for, you know, pretty much my whole life, like, you're like one of my besties, whatever, but we haven't even met. And then people that I literally have known for most of my life, since like middle school, like some of them just, like, I don't get why people will keep you a friend on Facebook, but then just like not talk to you at all. Like, just delete, cut the dead weight. I don't know. Doesn't bother me. Who cares? Um, Yet to meet another FBer besides Morgow. He was a scammer. Oh, I used to like John the Morgow, and then I don't know, he just started like super spiraling. Like, he's always having like family problems and whatnot. I don't know. He was super smart. Yeah, I just kind of lost touch of what happened to him. But yeah, he put out good videos. He was really smart, very very in depth, um, about the topics that he talked about. So it was really interesting. But yeah, he wasn't. I don't know. He wasn't ever like a huge, help in my awakening. I don't know. Whatever. At this point, there's just like so many. Like, there's too many channels to watch. You like can't even possibly try and keep up. And so I tried to help him out. It cost me ridiculous. Yeah, it's the worst when you you try and trust in people, and then they and then they screw you over. Literally just dealt with that with a house I was trying to get. And I mean, it's okay. I can get the money back. It's just some money. It's not a big deal, and I can get it back. But yeah, I mean, lesson learned. Like, it sucks that people people are so willing to just take advantage of others and whatever. But that is their karma, not mine. So I try to do good by people, and try to just be friendly, whatever. Just try and put good energy out there. And that's the point of these videos, is I want to just give you something to watch that's not that doesn't hate you. So you can come to my channel and have a story read to you, and just enjoy a nice fireplace. And that's pretty much the reason that I do these videos. I really need to get back into my plant streams, but man, I don't know. I might have to change my day on it. Fridays are just like, I don't know. With my kid out of school, like, Friday just like gets away from me so quickly, and then yeah, I just don't even know like what the day does. But I really need to get back into my plant streams. because they're so fun. It's so fun to learn about plants. Oh, I got some new plants today. That was super awesome. I needed to go to Lowe's and get this like root growth stuff for some lilacs that I got because I tore some lilacs off a tree. And so I want to grow a lilac tree now. And yeah, so I got this root stuff that helps them grow or whatever. I have no idea. But then I also got some new plants at the store because I can't help buying new plants. I got a new aloe, got a couple pretty cool succulent plants that you can like propagate into new plants. I don't know. I have really bad luck with succulents, but I always want to try them again because they're so cute. And then on my route today at work, there's these little boxes all along the streets. They're called little free libraries. So people just leave books in them. I've gotten a ton of books out of them. But today I saw a stand that was like a little free plant stand. And so I got a cute little, I don't know, I don't even remember what kind of plant it was. The lady said that it'll grow really nice out of a basket and like overhang, and I like plants like that. She said it has really excuse me, has really nice like yellow flowers and whatever. I don't know. I'm getting up in the morning to, yeah, the root stimulator. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Oh, I think I misread that Israel. I thought that was Zulu talking. I don't even know. It doesn't matter. It's all good. You guys know who's talking, even if I don't know how to read. um, anyway, but yeah, got a new plant and it was exciting. So I like new plants. I'll probably get up early and repot everything and all that. But I'm trying not to get like too many plants like growing right now that need to be planted in ground because I'm going to be moving soon, and like trying not to have too many permanent stuff going in my house before I have to move. But I also am like addicted to plants and they make me really happy. And so like, well, you just can't win all the time. So whatever. But yeah, I think yeah, I think that might be about it for tonight. Trying to think if there's anything else that I just want to ramble on about. And I can't think of anything now that I'm on the spot and have to, think of stuff. That's pretty much how it is. Like someone asks you like, oh, what's your favorite song? And I'm like, what are these songs you speak of? I don't know the name of any song. I've never heard this music. Like it's hilarious. Put me on the spot. I have no memory at all. Yeah, it's kind of funny. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. It's been very fun. You're here to entertain us, no pressure. Yeah, me too. I'm preparing for van life. So, ooh, van life is awesome. I was considering getting an RV and living in that while I try and find property. Like I like all kinds of tiny living or like just alternative houses. Like don't ever make me live in suburbia with a homeowners association. I'll just like I wouldn't, even if it was like $200 a month for rent, I'd be like, oh, I can't have a garden there. Nope, I don't want it. Like I can't have a chicken. No, that's not for me at all. But yeah, no, van life is sweet. D Marvel lived in a van for quite a few years, and when he found his new girlfriend, they upgraded to a nice RV, and yeah, it's awesome. Like simple living, I'm all for it. I cleaned out cleaned out my whole bedroom this weekend to prepare for moving. So everything in my bedroom is stuff that I'm willing to keep. And used to have a business building tiny homes. That's cool. I like tiny homes. They're really awesome. Yeah, I like tiny homes, tree houses, hobbit holes, eco domes, shipping containers, all of them. They're awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna build a big yurt to live in. Pretty excited for that. But gotta find, just got a regular Chevy cargo van, can't afford rent anymore. I hear you. Yep. I live in Seattle area and pay almost $1,000 for a crappy little 1-bedroom apartment. I have no amenities, like gotta pay for my laundry, don't have a dishwasher, rent goes up every 6 months. I don't get anything extra for it. And so, yeah, I've been looking at Eastern Washington. It's a lot cheaper over there. And just, yeah, like I feel it. Like it's literally impossible to be a single person in most areas, it seems. And like, I don't want to have a roommate. I've had a lot of roommates and I just, no thanks. I don't want to do that again. Like, possibly a mom, would be an okay roommate, but even that's like, are you a good mom, or is your kid a terrible person? Because like I don't need terrible kids around my kid. And it's just, man, if you want to get rid of friends, just make them your roommate, and that's the best way to get rid of some friends you don't like, that's for sure. Yeah, man, I've had so many roommates in my life, like just living with other people living with me, like no thanks, not happening. But yeah, just got to keep looking. I know I can find something. There's houses for rent, but yeah, definitely Eastern Washington is probably going to be where I end up because the weather's real nice over there and I can have a nice yard with a big garden and the rent is just so much cheaper. And so it's like sometimes you just have to go where the rent doesn't make you like have to work literally all the hours in the day just to pay your stupid rent. Like that's annoying, but it's all good, part of life, But yeah. Okay. Now I think I am going to get out of here. Yeah, that's awesome. The more people that come in these, and the more I can just ramble on because you say nice things in the chat, and I'm going to chat with you guys. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. I was like charging my laptop, and then I was like kind of lazy, like nah, maybe I won't do my stream. But then I was like, why? Like I'm just standing there. It's like it doesn't take any energy to just flip on the computer and read to you guys and have a nice chat, whatever. But yeah, I'm glad I did a stream. This was a fun one. So I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm not gonna make a promise as to when my next video will be because I honestly don't know. And so whenever I go live, just feel like it's your lucky day, I guess. But love you too, Zulu. Hope you sleep well. It's really super late where you are. Like you're up way past my bedtime, but you're a super night owl. But yeah, thanks guys for being here. Israel, shout out to you. Zulu1 as always. It was a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a good day tomorrow. And I will see you all on the flat side. Bye.